Are we ready? I know I am. So, whether or not you are, it's time for another episode of the IndieTales Game Dev live stream. Hey, my name is Adam. You are the Pixel Pals. I've already said the name of the show. So, without further ado, it's time to go. Welcome everyone to the Tuesday edition of the stream. Today we're going to be working on maybe a little bit of Insignia dev. I do have a little bit of an announcement video that I want your help with, that I'm going to plan out probably to record at the end of this video of the stream. I completed my pitch deck last night, so I will be sharing that with you, and you can give me some final feedback on it maybe before I start sending it out this afternoon. Yeah, it's starting to get pretty real now, the whole GDC thing. I'm like finally at a place where like the things that I am most worried about are starting to ebb away, and what's left is like a little bit of excitement. So we'll see how we go. I want to say a big welcome to everybody who's here in chat. Welcome on both Twitch and YouTube. A big thank you to those of you who followed. Big thanks to the most recent follower, 100 Sort, and most recent subscriber, Corcam. Thanks, Corcam. Yeah, we're in a good spot. I feel like actually, in a way, like this pitch deck has kind of it's given me an opportunity to be proud of what I'm doing and what I'm making. So being able to paint it in a good light gives me permission to feel confidently about it. So maybe I'll go through it with you again just now before I never show it on stream again. Yeah, so let me see what we got here. Alrighty. I do have like an actual PDF of the deck. Alright, so check me out. I might leave this at this scale because you can see it properly that way. Morning Mist, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome. 12 months, that's a whole year. Thank you, Morning Mist. Okay, so I put a little bit of effort here getting the frame the same color as the rest of the document. In fact, maybe I should scroll out even a little bit more so you can see kind of all of it. Yeah, PDF makes it real. That's right. Let me see if I can, maybe I'll just push it to the corner of my screen so that you can see kind of like the whole thing while still getting a view of yours truly, which is what, you know, we're all really here for. Alrighty. So, Insignia. It's a project pitch. My company's name is Up on Hill. This is what it is. Okay. Hey, I'm Adam. I am the creator of IndieTales. On the channels, I make tutorials, vlogs, streams, and essays for game developers. We have 260k subs on YouTube, 45k follows on Twitch, and 8,500 members on Discord, which is a big number. Pretty crazy. Of course, I started Insignia as a solo developer, and today I'm the creative and technical lead on the game. Basically, I do most of the development, and I have 4 amazing contractors who help me through it. And they're producing things like sound effects and animation and music. This presentation will get you introduced to the project, so feel free to get in touch for more details. I think I'll just deliver the presentation right now. I think I'll just do it like that. Not that I would necessarily be presenting this like in person, but why not? Puzzle platforming, action adventure, but the special abilities are hidden within enemies. That's what Insignia is. So, what do? You face off against elementally attuned enemies in each zone. You capture their abilities with a well-timed parry, and you use them to your advantage in battle, or you can also soar to new heights. So work towards additional slots to store multiple abilities, and you can reach objectives by chaining them together. So, you know, it's combat, and it's using kind of familiar parry style mechanics that you've seen in other games, but here we're using them as a gateway into these awesome puzzle platforming opportunities where in later stages of the game, you're actually chaining multiple abilities, even mid-combo, collecting new abilities and using them to augment what you're doing to come up with a mix of puzzle platforming that I've never really seen before, that I'm really excited by. All right. Of course, over the game, you unlock new capturable ensigns at mysterious shrines. These kind of work as the tutorial dungeons. You've seen shrines in games like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It's a similar concept. As you play through the game, some of these will be explorable and optional, and others will be on the main path. And as you go through, there are, we're working towards 16 abilities that give the player different ways to engage with the environment and with enemies. Forge your path. Of course, a big kind of foundational mechanic in the game is crafting, and you can fuse materials together to create accessories, consumables, key quest items, even special abilities. So as you saw in the previous frame, even special abilities are kind of intermingled with this crafting system, and it's kind of the basis of everything that you do outside of puzzle platforming and combat. Crafting is the intersection that allows you to make progress in the game. Our hero, Armin Black. So we play as this character. He's just come of age. A year after the tragic disappearance of the famous blacksmith Magnus. Oh, hey Swizz, thank you so much. Thanks for the subs. Armin gives up his dream of being a musician to follow his father's footsteps in search of answers. Places to go, people to see. On his quest, Armin travels to towns full of colorful characters. Friends come in all shapes and sizes, and so do their troubles. Still, there's always a useful reward for lending a helping hand. So at the start of each chapter, you'll be encountering a town. All of the characters from that town, they have their own troubles and quest, story beats that play out. And helping them out usually means some combination of running around in the explorable environment, collecting quest items, fusing those items together with crafting, or even receiving designs from NPCs to craft special items that then you can use to complete the quests or to take with you in the open world. There and back again. So, our adventure spans all 5 regions of the kingdom, each with its own story and flavor. There are 5 chapters of the game, 5 regions. You can imagine they're very colorful in different ways. They're all themed. As the player, you'll discover new paths as you cross over familiar territory with newfound powers. So the first time you play through the game, the first time you pass through the areas on your playthrough, it'll be mostly linear because you'll have limited abilities to go through the game. But as you get to the later chapters, passing back through those areas, the game sort of sprawls out and becomes more open as you can use your abilities to discover new paths that were there at the beginning. The game is open and networked, but in a Metroidvania style way, you won't really have access to those paths until you've got those abilities. Of course, true to action-adventure style, Insignia has dungeons lined with tricky foes and dastardly puzzles. These large dungeons await at the corner of each region, where the chapter's story reaches boiling point. And of course, standing and fighting. So as you play through these chapters, you will be racing to uncover the secrets of Magnus's legacy before the vicious Hunden Empire uses them to dominate the kingdom. Face down your foes in theatrical boss encounters that put every ability to the test. These are, as you can imagine, the pinnacle of the gameplay in the title. Every ability that you unlock will be tested, and the way that our level designs have, changing and dynamic environments with interactive level components, so too will the boss fights, making for really theatrical, really impressive engagements where Your abilities, the boss's abilities, shape the arena themselves as you play. So to recap, Insignia, it's an action adventure focusing on crafting, puzzle platforming, and clever combat. The loop is about 5 chapters of Vania-style zones between towns and dungeons, following a classic adventure plot. Estimated playtime at the moment is between 12 and 18 hours, depending on how much you like to explore. And our primary platforms at the moment are Steam and console, specifically Switch and Switch 2. At the moment, we are mid-production, preparing for a second round of funding. So, we're well on our way. Insignia started with some pretty strong foundations. As a solo project, it started with a really generous pre-production. I personally had a lot of time getting it right. It went through a number of iterations, demos, playtesting, before we landed on the current iteration of the project and scaled up. What we have now is a complete vertical slice, and we've got a pretty good scope for the remaining story and content. We have a lot of accountability here on this project. We stream all the development, we deliver regular updates of vlogs and content on the YouTube channel, and we have community playtesting channels set up as well. The game has attended multiple exhibitions and is due to attend more this year. So we've been to PAX Australia, Smash, which is the Sydney Manga and Anime Show, and Alt Games Fest, which we were invited to just a couple months ago. We've also been the recipient of a number of grant awards, even in the last 12 months. So we received the Screen Australia Games Production Fund, Screen New South Wales' Digital Games Seed Fund, and GDC's Market Travel Program. We're really excited by how these opportunities have come to us, and the momentum we have as a result has been tremendous. Speaking of which, since early development, the audience that I built while developing this game has been a driving force in Insignia's creation. Watching and subscribing to the content on Twitch, YouTube, and Patreon. With so much support, our audience has really shown that they're raring to boost a Steam page or a potential crowdfunding campaign whenever the time calls for it. A key statistic here is that we have 6,000 daily stream viewers. So every stream that we put out of just, banal, everyday game development, 6,000 people watch those. Of course, we've got the YouTube subscribers and the Twitch followers, and we're currently, I would say, one of the premier game development projects that's being streamed live in the world at the moment. So let's talk about our market. Insignia is looking to excite players who love classic action adventure titles. This means great storytelling, creative action gameplay, and plenty of opportunities to reward exploration. We're excited to meet the high standards set by nearby successes in the indie pixel art space, and we learn from games like these in our design considerations. Games like Owlboy, Iconoclasts, Cave Story, and Momodora are really close to what Insignia is in terms of its mix, but you can see a lot of other games in the space that do a little bit of action and story, or action exploration, story exploration, some mix of these kind of create the periphery around Insignia and what we're trying to make. These are our neighbors. So Owlboy and Iconoclasts are the closest thing to what we're making. But more recent successes around the corner, just on the periphery of Insignia's kind of philosophy, are also worth considering and referring to when, I guess, thinking about the kinds of strategies that we want to take on and how to build our audience, marketing, that kind of thing. So Hollow Knight, Blasphemous, Nine Souls, more recently Momodora 5 and Neva. The road ahead. So given that we've just completed our production of Chapter 1, which was funded by those grants that we were awarded, we're now considering our next steps for funding before heading into our remaining content and development phase. It's now Q1 2025. We've allotted a few months to explore funding opportunities, and we have another 18 to 24 months before release after that, obviously pending budget availability and the amount of momentum that we can get for the production based on that funding. So this is where you come in. We have 3 key areas where we're open to exploring with partners. We've got production funding, distribution, and marketing. For production funding, we're open to discussions with potential partners to fund all or part of the remaining development. We see crowdfunding as a real opportunity, and we would be excited to work with publishers with experience maximizing campaign reach. Distribution. We'd like to explore working with partners to ease end of production timeline into launch, including QA, certification, localization, etc. Existing relationships with agencies in these areas, particularly with first-party platform holders, would be really valuable. So certification, getting given any kind of special treatment as we head towards release, and making sure that the pathway to being on the platform on release day with some kind of multitudes of making sure that the product is basically ready on release day, so that players new and old can kind of like get an experience that represents a finished product on release day. Marketing. We'd also be excited to build relationships focused on marketing, where partners have means to boost the game's profile above and beyond. Experience with releasing titles in multiple regions and on multiple platforms are a big plus here. So really kind of focusing that signal on release day, having it be that we've got everything squared away, everything ready. This is the kind of game that will release once. It's not likely going to be an ongoing release. We're not going to have necessarily, new features being released post-release. So having that release tail be really well manicured and spiky is a really big plus. And so working with partners who have experience doing that and confidence would be a really big plus. So thank you for your time. Let's talk soon. There you go. That's my pitch. I think I'm done with it. I don't think I've got a lot left in me to talk about or to polish or to do anything with. It's pretty much like, if this isn't gonna say what it needs to say, I don't know what else I could say, because I don't have the time really at this point to go much further with it. Yeah. I think it's pretty strong. I think so. I know I could a deep Irish accent. That's not happening. Look, how about instead you redeem a clinker. We'll do a clinker for you, McAnil. Be right back. I'm waiting on Swizz's squiz. Without that, it's hard to feel confident. All right. So, yeah, clinkers are back online. Feel free. Yeah, I think hey, let's do it. Yellow. Okay. Green. Yeah, I'm like, I know it's possible to do a better pitch than this because I have notes, but those notes are not practicable. Like the project would, it's like we'd be heading into a zone, into an area where like the level of like manicured that it would be at that point would be kind of hard to like, it's like, I don't know. Like I don't know what to say. I know I could do it. I know it's possible to make something more polished, but I don't think it's practical to make something more polished. Little things like, you know, showcasing quests a little more somehow, the dynamic of the quests, what it's like, the pacing of how you engage, how questing relates to progress in a more visual, intuitive way. That's sort of not, you know, it's probably not that important. And then obviously just like more polish on the look and feel of the game, the screenshots, you know, getting everything to a place where it's like absolutely flawless. But at that point, it's like, I don't think that's almost like sales to players at that point rather than to publishers, you know, like the level of polish we would get to at that point. It's like, we might as well just pitch directly to in a Kickstarter campaign if we're at that level. I don't even think we're that far. I think we could probably turn this into a Kickstarter presentation, into a video, you know, mix gameplay through it with our gameplay trailer and a demo. It's like, geez. Ooh, should I mention that there's a playable demo on request? That might be something that I should do. Not necessarily. No, I'm really just sending it out as like the first round of me sending this out is basically, I hope I didn't, but I did drink one. Do we have no more? I'm sorry, my darling. One sec, pals, be right back. Yeah, so this first round of sending it out is going to be, because the demo is not like finished. It's like just finished. I'll still be tweaking that for weeks. It'll be basically like at GDC, very hands-on, hands-off demo. So I'll be like mostly holding it or like getting the player to like a specific point and then handing it over to them, or like loading them in at a specific point. But there'll be things that are rough around the edges at GDC. And then after GDC, if any of these conversations eventuate into something more with other, like with like companies through official channels, then I'll probably, like by then the goal is to have the demo be like, you know, 2, 3, 4 weeks from now in a spot where it's like, I can send it hands off and not worry about it. Because the last thing I want to do is send a demo that I haven't QA'd along with a pitch deck that is really promising, but the demo like doesn't meet the expectations. And I know that's like, I know that the standard that I've set is really high, but it almost makes the bugs more obvious and loud if you see them. If it was all rough with, you know, not very final art, it would be easy to forgive bugs. But for this kind of game, polish and having that polish really come through is like a lot of the reason why I think I'm getting people's attention. So I want to live up to that with any like hands-on demo that I give where I'm not available to be there to, you know, fix it if it breaks or whatever. So no, not sending out the demo with this straight away, but it's more like, let's talk. Maybe I just won't. Maybe I'll just leave it for now. If there is a demo, they can play it. They can ask for it. If they want to play the demo, they can ask for it. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. What do you think of this? Yeah, I think it's good. I designed this little sword satchel. It's new. It won't be in the game anywhere, but I needed a way to explain like how he carries the sword and the hammer and other stuff. He's got a book in there, and I was like, well, I'll just design that. And then I rejigged this. I made this a little cleaner. Yeah, I'm happy with it, man. I'm happy. It's very hard to be unhappy with it. So now I'm doing a little bit of an announcement tonight, I guess, that I'm going to be at GDC. Yeah, his foot looked like it was cut off before. I mean, it was cut off because that was a reference just for our animators. So to have like a little bit more motivation explaining what's happening with his feet, I think helps a bit more. Probably could be even better, but anyway. Perfect enemy of good, etc. So, GDC announcement. This is really just a video that I want to put on my YouTube channel that like breezes past the pitch deck and the demo, being like, hey, I'm gonna be at GDC. Like, feel free to reach out to me ahead of the conference to meet up. If you are a publisher, let me say these things. So I'll be at GDC. Reach out to me, especially if you are a publisher or are a publisher or know of one or have I'll have the game with me. No, I'm not doing like a streaming setup when I'm there. I'm actually just there like to attend. I don't have like any official business at GDC in terms of like a booth or anything like that. I'm really just going. I wasn't even planning on going until like 2 months ago. Howdy, fanciest. Yeah. So it's really more about like, I'm just going to meet and network. Yeah, that's right. Cool. I think that's it. What do you think? Should I say anything more than that? Hey, Booyah. Like, should I express... What do you think I should be looking to do at GDC? I definitely want... I'm really just there to network, make friends. Oh, we'll be taking... I think we're going to take a ROG ally. I think we're going to get a ROG ally just to put it on. Yeah. I'm even considering buying a new laptop, just something more thin and light than what I've got, specifically so that I can do that. Yeah, that's on the cards. It's our plan, just to be able to go, here you go, here's Insignia, have a play, to whoever. I do have business cards. Yeah. Yeah, the Ally X. That's what we're looking at. Pat, my brother, he's thinking of buying one, basically, because he wanted one for his own work. So we might be able to do that. I can also, to an extent, justify it through the grant funding. It's not necessarily like target. I mean, I guess we could describe it as target hardware. Like, it just depends on what we want to do with it. But anyway, yes, we'll have like a ROG Ally X. I'm thinking of getting a Steam Deck anyway. The cosplay, I won't be wearing any cosplay. I am getting a haircut though. I'm getting an undercut, and I'm gonna get a ponytail. I'm gonna get some spiky hairspray. Red. Oh, it'll be a write-off. Yeah, anything that I do as part of Insignia is tax deductible because it's through my company, and my company is a game development company. And yeah. As far as I understand, you can actually get a Steam Deck from Steam on request. Just if you are a company that is distributing your game on Steam, you can just say, hey, can you send us a Steam Deck to test with? And they just will, apparently. Just to certify, just so that you can QA on their hardware. They want games to run well on it, so they just send you one. Gabe ignored you. Oh. No, they just give it to you. At least somebody that I know has done that. So I guess I don't do it for everybody, but yeah. And then I got to prioritize after this Switch dev kit too. Okay. So, anything else here? Maybe just like final thoughts, final words. Maybe like what we're looking for. Like an update on Insignia. Good morning, Marian. No, I deliberately omitted talking about budget because I'm not looking to. I mean, I don't know whether you think we should, but I kind of want to leave that to discussions. Like, it's been the number one question asked. Yeah, I kind of want to like start the conversation with this and then go into budget and timeline discussions. Mostly because I need a little bit more advice. Hopefully at GDC, I'll build some connections where I can have these conversations a little bit more frankly. Particularly, it's because I don't know what kind of budgetary considerations to prioritize and to be aware of to this on like distribution, like beyond the production of the chapters, there's going to be like a period of time where we've got to do, oh, we're making sure that we've got all the localization good. We're making sure we've got QA right. We've done certification. We've got all of the different platforms primed to release on a certain day at a certain time. We've got trailers. We've got, you know, different, like, I don't know what kind of connections with like with like first party platform holders like Steam and Nintendo. Like, is there anything there where costs come into it on the way to marketing the game? Any kind of physical distribution? Like, I don't know how to budget that stuff, unfortunately, at this stage. So it's hard for me to say like, hey, this is exactly how much we need, because all I can speak to is how much we burn. And the burn rate times 5 is not, that's not going to be the budget. So it's more going to be an ongoing conversation where not ongoing, but it's going to be dependent on what the publisher is interested in, what they can offer, what opportunities they have. If they say, hey, we've done all this before with this game, and we expect that you'll probably end up spending about this much, and we're happy to foot that bill beyond the production budget. That's great, and I don't want to have said this much and have it be like unreasonable because I had to throw a number out. Yeah, it's possible that that's a point where I could, given that I would say that scenario offers me less leverage, I'm kind of just deferring the conversation until I've got a bit more of an idea, a bit more research. And I do have a few people I can speak to about that. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I know it's a lot, but like, I don't know like hard numbers from, because how do you quantify that? How does one research what their game is going to need in terms of additional costs? You know, I know that kind of risk management is something that a publisher will want to have done because it's their money, but like, it's almost like it's almost like going to a job interview and an employer says, what are your expectations for your wages? And then you say, well, what are you interested in paying? Because that's going to be like that's going to be the thing that gets negotiated over. At the same time, like, there's scope here for the game to be smaller or bigger depending on how much funding we get. I think I really have to have conversations with developers who have released games just like this. If it's not mentioned, it's intentionally omitted. Okay. You think so? Yeah, I think I might send different versions of this out. There might be some information here. And I noticed that the Bear and Breakfast pitch deck has different versions as well. Where you speak more to that stuff or less to that stuff depending on who you're sending it to. So if I was sending this to like Devolver or something directly, and I'd already introduced myself to them, sure, we'd probably have to go a little bit further in having our I's dotted and our T's crossed. But I think as just like hey, I'm going to be at GDC, I feel like this is enough. Because I imagine. Yeah. And maybe I should have a slide that says I'll be at GDC. For this introductory deck. I did say at the very beginning something like, this presentation will get you introduced to the project. Feel free to get in touch for more details. I did say that. Maybe I should say, how do people view networking at GDC if you're not going there to present? How do people view it? Everything that I have been told from anybody who I've spoken to is that a lot of it is just mingling. It's just being in the right places, chatting to the right people, and being very, because a lot of it is like extra, like outside of. Oh no, it's a conference, right? It's not an expo. It's not PAX, you know. It's a conference of game developers to share knowledge and basically get together. That's what it is, you know. It's not like a consumer expo primarily. I mean, it kind of is a consumer expo, I think, on the tail end, on the weekend, but through the week, it's only developers networking. Is your trailer? No, it's not finished yet. Trailer's still work in progress. Yeah. Bum rush the stage, take the mic. Yeah, this is also my first GDC. So like my expectations here can't be too high. Like I have to know that there's going to be opportunities that I'm probably going to miss by virtue of just not having done it before, you know? Zoranak says, when I went to GDC, there were a lot of opportunities to talk to others. I randomly found myself chatting with Chucklefish and talking about Stardew at the time, years ago. Yeah, I think actually what I was told by someone who went last year was just be cool. Don't even like it's almost a faux pas to like go in with like too much of a pitch mentality. Like just go be friendly and be cool. I don't know if that's, I mean, that's not going to be my like the way that I'm going to do it, but I will try to be cool. Hey, jump. Yeah, I'm going to try, the way that I'm going to play it is like ask around what everyone's going to. Go to all the things everyone says they're going to. Make friends. My soft voice. Oh no. I'll have to use the stronger one. Make friends. You know, chat about what they're making. Tell them what I'm making. If they happen to be someone who has an inroad at a publisher, you know, go for it. But otherwise, just like, because I think that there's so much, the thing that I need, like I just said, getting closer to people and like, what's the word I'm trying to say? Making connections with people who have had similar experiences to what I'm about to go through, that's valuable to me. Just that. Just making friends with other developers is valuable to me. So if I make a bunch of friends, like, that's amazing. I don't have to like walk out of GDC with a contract, you know? Oh, that would be nice. So like something like this. Yeah, something like that. Maybe just like keep it simple. Oh. This is Figma. How's that? Could even have... I don't know if this is a little bit... Like courting. Is it too much to do this? Hmm. Maybe we do a different purple. Or maybe we just need to flatten this one out. Hang on. What? Hang on a second. I can fix it, I promise. The thing is, as soon as you do, this is the thing, as soon as you do this, that'll work, and then this will work, and then this will work. No problem. But it's anything other than that will get a bit weird. Cool. Let's keep it like that. Might as well go to the center at that point, in which case, here we are, back where we started. That's not what I meant. Okay, cool. I mean, we could put this here. Maybe I'll just like keep it a little more, like a little. Oh, thanks, Igor. Yeah, let's do this. Let's just chuck that one in there too. This is 19. 18B, let's call it. Hey, Warp. I got this tool. It's called PDF Arranger. I love it. I use it for all my PDF needs. Check it out. It's just this like little tool that someone built, and it just lets you like see all the things in a PDF. Whoops. I didn't want to do that. Oh, hang on a second. I might need to update the thumbnail on this video right now. Yep. I made a mistake. Cool. Okay, and then delete that. And then, yeah, literally you can just like take a whatever image, just like drop it in, and then it's there. You just be like, okay, I want that there, done, save. You can zoom in, you can rearrange them, whatever slide you want where. It's good. So this shouldn't have that in it. Yeah, it doesn't, but the next one does. Cool. All right. Yeah, it's free. Yo-Yo Bob redeemed clinkers. Okay. All right, Yo-Yo. What color? Pink. Since you asked so nicely, I'm gonna make a wish on it to be pink for you. We'll see. Green. Yeah, Igor. Thank you for your patience with me on that. Thanks for talking me off the ledge with it. Because, you know, I started with it and I felt so uncomfortable getting to that point. Like, I really wasn't sure if it was going to be worth the effort. And after putting the time into it, like I just sat down and drew it out. But it took me, I think that the innovation that really made it worth it was not trying to put the pixel art in and then the boxes. To me, the boxes like solve the thing that it was trying to be. And in fact, looking back on it, all of these slides came from what that slide was trying to be. Like showing that there is a big world. Yeah, this slide, this slide, this slide, this slide, and this slide do that job, especially with this as the recap. Like I got all of the pixel art in there across the slides, and this one is more focused now for not having the pixel art in it. Yeah. For me, it's like, yeah, this idea of like a connected world full of many zones that are not necessarily linear, and where you can imagine backtracking through them. That's like because it's actually like, I don't know how many games are like this. I mean, like Tombi is like this, but like how many games have a, well, no, I mean, Tombi's not even really like it, but it's like you've got like a sort of an open world that's not a dungeon. It's not just one dungeon. Like Hollow Knight is very like, you're in the underworld the whole time, and there are zones for sure, but like they're not, you could call them chapters, but there's not that much story. So the idea of, and it's not that I'm not really doing a good job of I'm not going to the trouble of trying to communicate it here, but in Insignia, you know, you start on the left side, you go to the right side, and then you come back. That's literally what this says. But that idea, I don't know how many games do Metroidvania-y stuff without being Metroidvania games. The primary thing being like, it's story driven, and the back half of the game is exploration in terms of like having abilities, gives you access to the rest of the game that you couldn't get to before you had the powers. But now that you've got all of them, you can sort of sprawl out to the edges. Anyway, I'm happy with it. I think it was getting through this slide felt like, you know, when you bite off more than you can chew and then you swallow it. This was the part where I was like, oh, I might actually be able to say the thing I'm trying to say here. And now I'm not as neurotic about it. Like, I just knew that there was one major thing I wasn't communicating about what the game is, like what you do in it, how it's structured, that I had done a good job of here. Like, that's what you do as the moment to moment. This is kind of like every 20 or so minutes, but then like this is like your hours, you know? Yeah. I just needed to be okay with spending the time on it. I think that was the big thing. But it reads well now. It's good. And this stuff came up really nicely. I can only be proud of it. That's all I can do. I can only be proud of it. And I am. Okay, so announcement. I'll be at GDC. Give people a way to reach out to me, especially if you're a publisher. I'll have a playable demo of the game. Don't be shy to say hi. Finish the first chapter of production. Back to a more regular YouTube schedule soon. Steam page incoming. Teaser trailer, etc. I took Thumbs Up Armin out. Thumbs Up Armin got replaced by Hiking Armin. This guy. This was the better graphic. I was thinking a lot about what this should say. I do have business cards, yeah. Like, what should his expression be? At first I had him looking uphill, and I was like, no, it's not uphill. You know, he shouldn't be struggling, because we're not struggling. He's beyond the mid-morning of his hike, and he's getting a bit of a hiker's rush. You know, he's kind of feeling it. He's actually kind of enjoying this. you know? That's the feel, because that's where we are as a team. Yeah. Like, it's actually, this doesn't have to be so hard, you know? Not even determined. It's not like we're not really struggling. We're kind of like hitting our stride, you know? So anyway, there's something I want to do on the game right now, which I've been struggling a little bit with. Not struggling. The word was fresh in my mind. It's resolutions. So right now, the game has a dependency on 16:9 resolutions that I don't think I want it to have anymore. Because a lot of the different devices, like for example, I can run the game on my phone, but my phone is not 16:9. And the way I had originally intended for it to work, the solution that I had in place to allow it to not need to be 16:9 no longer works. So I used to be letterboxing it. But because I changed the render pipeline stuff, it's no longer doing that letterboxing. So if you run the game on like some other resolution, like if I just go free aspect and I press play anywhere, it's not going to be right. See, there is like a 16:9 thing, and then there's just the rest of the game rendering outside of that. Now, I think the game, for the most part, should live in 16:9. I think it should do that. But like when it's not, like when it's taller than 16:9, e.g. 16:10, I want the UI to come in. So the UI's positioning needs to not be locked. It needs to be free. And then when it is wider than 16:9, the letterboxing there is okay. Why does it work now? I almost feel bad though. It's like, why can't we get a little bit more? There is an answer to that question. And it's that I don't want the camera to show stuff that's off screen, but we have changed the game quite a bit since we got to this point. And now it might actually support 16 by like extra, because we have like blocks, like the camera cannot look past this line. So maybe if you are zoomed out like far enough, maybe it's okay for the camera to show you more, because it would still lock here. It's just that this bar and this bar's worth of content would be shown off to the right. You would see more off here, and Armin would he would be over here. Like he would be closer to the left. And you would see just more of the right. Vertically, I wouldn't change that. So what you can see above and below needs to be the same. But here's like an example where like we've sort of, you know, we've zoomed out, but like we're not properly seeing everything that we're supposed to see. Let's have a look. So the camera has a size of 2.18 in this shot. That's not a very good resolution. Why 2.18? That's terrible. That should never be a 2.18. Zone camera? What is 2.18? Oh, it actually is saved as 2.18 here. No. That's not a number that we should be using. I do have like arbitrary sizes, but 2.18 is not. If I want the game to lock to proper pixel sizes, 2.18 is not one of them. So like 960 by 540 gives us 2.7. So like 2.7 would be okay, but that's really big at that point. If we're here now, we see all of this in this shot. You know, really coming out. 1.8 is the typical size, but see here, we wouldn't be able to see the floor. So the next resolution up is 9 times 3. So yeah. Like 5.4 gives us 540p. Half that is 2.7. There's no kind of like stopgap between 360 pixels tall. There's 2.4 if you wanted to go 640 by 480. That would be the 480. So it's like, how many pixels of height do we want to see? The thing with 480 is I don't think it does it divide into 1080p very easily. Let's do some maths. Why do I open up Chrome to do this? What's the number? So like 1080 divided by 4. So you get 270. 1080 divided by divided by 3 gives you 360. That's 1.8. 1080 divided by 2 gives you 5.4. So yeah. So this becomes 1.35, and then the next one up is 1.8, and the next one up from this, double this, or like an extra whatever, gives you 1080 divided by 3 is going to give you 1.8. 1080 divided by 2 is going to give you 2.7. So between 1.8 and 2.7, there's not really a resolution that we can hit where every pixel is going to be a whole number of art pixels. 3 art pixels. It's 4 art pixels, 3 art pixels, 2 art pixels per pixel. That's it. You can't get anything nicer than that. So like, you know, with 640 by 360, this pixel will be represented if you multiply it up to 1080p. And you find that dot, which is gone. Oh, there it is. That dot now is 1, 2, 3. So it's unfortunate that there's no like nice spot in the middle that's like this kind of range. 2.4 doesn't work. It's 2.7. And that's not too bad. It's just quite far away. That's in 2.7, every pixel is just 2. This is 1080p 2.7. So that's a good screenshot. In fact, I think that's probably going to be okay for what we need. Yeah. That's nice and clean. The only thing is, these values are based on a height of 1080. That's the issue. So I've hard-coded these to have ortho sizes, but a new strategy would be something like redefining all of these as being multiples of like pixel scales. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you get just 4 numbers that you can choose between. Here, rather than saying 2.1 whatever, you say 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then I multiply it by the height. It's probably too late to reauthor all of the zone cameras in the game right now. That's probably too hard to do. Unless I write a script that goes through every scene and updates them by hand. Which is not, I mean, like, it's not out of the question. This is why I have the scriptable objects for like fade times. I've got like a fade time that's 0.5 and that's an object. So if I change it, it changes everywhere without me having to go scrape the whole project for the different values. All right. I don't know what to do. I mean, the black bars approach might be okay. But the problem is that not everything is a multiple of 1080. Not every screen uses 1080 as a base. So like my tablet, for example, is 800 pixels tall, I think, something stupid like that. So like you would get 200 pixels of height or 400 pixels of height. That's it. It's not even that good. Divided by 3. You can't divide 800 by 3. No, I wouldn't do that. No, I think it's black bars or bust. So it's hard because it's not that obvious what to do here. I gotta go take a quick break because I'm not getting enough air here. I don't think the air is on or something's wrong. So I'm gonna go figure this out. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, there's a couple of problems here because it's not just a question of like, hey, how do I get something going? It's how do I get something going that matches what I'm doing with the game. So for example, when I'm talking to Berta here, the black bars come in, right? Those black bars, do they come in even further for games where, like, if I've got black bars already, do you get more black bars? That's the weird thing. Like we'd have to like if we saw this, can you go full screen when you go black bar? What?
I could get a B.
Okay. Could you get 1 sec, pals? Be right back. Okay. Can't the camera lock in the middle of the screen showing the best ratio while the rest of the level bleeds around? There's two things. There's the level there's the excess, and then there's what you do when there's not enough. It's both sides. I don't know what this is. I don't know why it lets us, like, why did we, I don't know what this solution is doing where we're seeing this, but we're not seeing down here. Like, what's it doing right now? I need to figure that out. Hang on a second. You're in my way, buddy. All right. So we're going to check that out. What is... This is black bars animated. If I take it away, nothing happens. So what else we got? Letterbox group? Is it this? Oh, it might be that. Oh, okay. It's just the letterbox that, for whatever reason, doesn't properly mask the game. Okay. It's a sprite mask. That puts... It's... Everything is visible except for what? If I... So there's something in front of the mask that's here, or the mask is masking itself out? If I take it away, it's fine. What happens if I just take it away? I guess the game just works at that point. For 1080p, obviously, it's going to work. But what if I have free resolution? Well, this is free aspect. Yeah, I mean, like this is the game with a free aspect ratio. Yeah, that's the problem, is that you can do that, obviously. And you can break the bounds of what's outside the level that you don't want to see. And if I wanted to stop you from seeing stuff out here, like at a certain scale, if I keep going out far enough, you're not going to be able to see what's off here or what's off here, because that's the whole width of the level. So like the camera won't know where to go, because there's literally nowhere I can go that isn't going to violate the bound. And of course, yeah, like the backgrounds are manicured in such a way that they work at 16:9. Like if you zoom out far enough, you'll see the edge of the art. So I'm pretty impressed at how well it holds up. If I turn this off, it'll look a much yuckier as I zoom out. Yeah. But the graphical fidelity fix, that makes it look pretty good. It does blur some of the text at odd ratios. Okay. But the game kind of holds up. So that would be just hiding the letterbox altogether. Now the question is, why does the letterbox not work? What is controlling the letterbox? This thing. And now, why does the letterbox like not respect all of the level? Like this would have been fine if the letterbox was able to correctly figure out where it was supposed to be. Right now, it's like, I don't know what's going on, because it's a rectangle. It's just a sprite with a masked out area inside of it, and the mask is obviously just this bit. But like that's the mask. So what is masking it back in over here? There's like nothing out here. Like I don't know what that is. Unless there's like, honestly, I couldn't say. I have no idea. Is it like a shader or like I'm looking for a rectangle that sits, because it's very consistent, right? You can see it there. There it is there. What is it that's over here that we care so much about seeing? Is it this? Is it something to do with this? Oh, hang on a second. Is it something to do with this or something near this that is its own canvas or camera or something? It's quite large, this zone. It's like all the way up to here. It looks like it's got to do with that. If I move the forge, what happens? No, there is a big sprite mask there. There is one. There is one. There is. It's this thing. Ah, found it. This needs a custom range, and it goes from walls to particles. Or like default or something like that. But not final black. Okay. There's another sprite mask and I didn't provide a range for it. In fact, it should be everything except UI, I guess. Let's go all the way to shade. Oh, I'm glad I found that. Okay, so when we zoom out, I guess what doesn't make a lot of sense to me is why that cuts in like this. What is it that we're doing when we zoom in? Because we have plenty here, and as soon as we go to here, it's like not enough. What is it that lets us do that, but not that? Why do you use UE5 instead Unity? I didn't choose Unreal Engine 5. I am using Unity. So this thing, this high-res square is 640 by 360. Is it always 640 by 360? I think it might be. So I just need to change the size of this thing. En español? Is there a reason to choose between Unreal and Unity? Unreal's got a specific look and pipeline, if you like that. Sí, claro. Muy bien, Ben Paul. Is there a video portion to this podcast? Okay, so I think what I have to do is... hang on a second. You got to get out of here, buddy. Imagine. My game loop. You ever played a Zelda game? It's like that. So it might be that it's using the monitor's resolution to determine this. Let's go find it. Letterboxmask.localscale is video settings.screenres. This is the thing that I'm a little concerned about. So let's actually get hot reloading on this because I want to do some changes in real time. A Pokemon fan game. I mean, I've played a Pokemon game. Fan games? I don't know. I guess. Maybe like a long time ago. Okay, so we're here and we want to go to here and I want to debug.log video settings. Let's try it. So here, it's actually saying that our resolution, if we just clear it, it actually is the viewport. So imagine now that this is literally the device resolution. So like 1087 by like 596. All right, the question is, why shouldn't we allow the player to see more of the scene, given that the camera is set to 2.7? The camera is looking all the way out here. What rules should I put in place to determine the size of this box? Because the box size is, in this case, 9.8 by 5.4. So like, it's like almost 960 by 540. Is that the mask? No, the mask is 640 by 360. So it's saying, hey, I think what it's saying is, what's the nearest whole pixel number that we can use? But that's not doing it there. It's just staying at 640 by 360 no matter what. It's just forcing us. Hey, be right back, pals. Okay, so yeah, this 640 by 360 thing, let's figure out why we're getting that. So right now it's like the letterbox mask local scale is native width, native height times 100 by current pixel scale. Oh, hang on. So hang on, I made a setting for this. If I go video pixel scale and I go like 1, does that change it? No. I was wondering if that still did anything. It doesn't do anything, apparently. Native.width. Yeah. So 640 by 360 is the native dimensions, which I don't even know what native. Is that just me saying, it's just saying 640 by 360. Okay. So the mask's local scale is, and I want to try putting this stuff. Like all of this in late update. Specifically the letterbox stuff. Because when we zoomed, I could see before, yeah, it's fixed now. I could see before, you could see the seams, the last pixel not scaling because it was happening in the live update. Late update happens after the render, so it is better. Well, after the camera adjustments, so that it's more appropriate. So, all right. So we've got this thing where all we're doing is taking H, which is twice the orthographic size of the main camera. What do we use H for? And we're saying the height of the, oh, this is just the bounds of the letterbox. So that's just like making the thing bigger. That's fine, the black area. But the letterbox mask is the thing that we want to change. So the letterbox mask's height is just 640 by 360 times whatever this is, which I don't know what that is. Aspect. Width over height or height over height. Width over width or height over height, depending on which. So what does that mean? Let's go have a look. Yeah, it's 1, but is it ever going to be not 1? Like, what would it take for that to be some other number? Looks like nothing that I'm doing is going to make it do that. Like a really tall screen? It's not changing anything about it. So I'm not, I guess that's the problem. Is that that's just not doing anything. But I'm still not happy with how we're not using the camera size to do any multiplication here. I don't know if I'm awake enough to do this. My brain's not really on. Current dimensions, screen width.miss, screen width.height. So we know what the native is. That's fine. That's always going to be 640 by 360. Hey, Superpixel, thanks for the sub. Local scale. So we're taking a 640 by 360. Oh, more clinkers. Okay. Pink. We've had 2 fails, so Gambler's Fallacy says you should win. Morning Mist. Let's see how phallic it is. It's pink. Congratulations. It's phallic. All right. So, flashbang. Throw away a flashbang. What is... we're looking for Morning Mist. Do you know what you want? I can put you down as undecided for now. No clue. All right. Well, you can let me know. Okay. So it's really just, I think the real answer here should be that we take the smallest, dimension that, and actually this might be how it works. Take the smallest dimension that the current camera orthographic size multiplies. Gosh, this is really hard. Give me a second. Like, let's do some maths. Okay, say like the normal resolution is like 640 by 360. Yeah, that's typical resolution. And then we do, and that's 1.8. Now let's say our screen is like 800, like 1300 or some dumb resolution by 800. Yeah. And we happen to be in a screen that is like 2.7. 2.7 is technically natively, so this natively is 640 by 360, and this resolution actually is 960 by 540. So the mask should end up at something like this when we scale up to 2.7. Even if that's going to block out a lot left and right, it shouldn't be a mask of 640 by 360, which it currently is. Because that's 6.4 by 3.6. Now, nothing else is scaled up, is it? No, everything else is scaled by 1. So we should be able to take this value and make it bigger to like 9.6 by 5.4, and it should look like that at this scale with this particular setup, because this camera is 2.7. We've got plenty of space where we can do more. So then it becomes, I can just multiply the native by, I mean, a simple way to do it would be to multiply this by main camera dot orthographic size. Actually, just literally H, as I've got it here. Now that can't be right. Missed in the game. There is missed in the game. Wish granted. Ah, that's like, what's that? 34 by 19? Well, that can't be right. Oh, we're already multiplying by 2. Okay, it's got to be divided by 2. Or actually, I don't know. What is the value we're looking for? Now it's 17 by 9. That's still off. Now it's 864 by 486. Which, I mean, I don't know what that is. Unless I undid my zone camera changes. No, they're 2.7. So it should be, oh, no. I got to divide by, gosh. Okay. There you go. $960 by $540. Perfect. All right, well, we could run around with this and see what happens. I think that's good. As far as the black boxes and what they're supposed to be showing us, I think we're seeing everything that we're supposed to see. Let's go try home. Okay, can we? Okay. So, okay. That's looking pretty good. If I turn the video settings off, it is all wonky. So here what we're doing, I see. Here what we're doing is favoring aspect ratio over resolution. If we wanted perfect pixels, you'd have to still be looking at on a monitor that had the right number of pixels relative to the art resolution. But there's a possibility here, which I'm still looking for, which I haven't figured out yet, where if you happen to have like a number of pixels that scales nicely, should we zoom to that number? Like if we're just off, should we zoom a little more or a little less to match your game's resolution? Your monitor's resolution. Like if you've got, you know, I don't know, like a 720p screen, should I pull out a little bit so that the pixels are correct? Like here, they aren't, but I feel like we're close. They could be. Here they are, because that's 1.35. So like that is a perfect 720p resolution because it's a multiple of, it divides by 2, I guess, to get 720p to this. Whereas this is not. This is 1080p divided by 3. So like, for example, if we went and got a ROG Ally, like what is that? Is that even 1080p? Oh, that's 1080. Okay, well that's pretty good. Okay, what about like a Steam Deck? 720p. Yeah, and a Switch is 720p. So like right now, my game on Switch in handheld mode, it's gonna look, you know, if I turn graphical fidelity on, my little graphics fix, it's going to look good, but it won't be perfect pixel art. This does a bit of a filter, like a trilinear filter over all the pixels. So all the pixels are still the size of pixels, but they might be a bit blurry on the edges. Unless you're at a resolution like this, where it zooms exactly perfectly. Here it's turned it off. And you'll notice the frame rate will go up and down depending on how much work it has to do. So here I literally switch off the mode that does the blurring because I know you've got the right amount of pixels. But it's a big performance hit on low performance software because you're doing a whole texture filter. So anything with like integrated graphics is not great for that. And then there's like, what if you want to play the game at like 640 by 480 native? Then you get this, which I do want to support this. I know I can. I just don't know how I'm going to. Like there's a resolution here that will work. I just have to set the camera to be like 2.4 if I do that. So if I go to zone camera here, this is 0.9. But if I set it to 480 by 2, no, 640 by 480 divided by 2 is 1.2. Is it this? The upstairs camera? This one. If I set this to 1.2 instead of 1.35, we're so close. 1.2. That's perfect. That is like a Super Nintendo resolution, or compatible with like an old school CRT monitor. That's perfect pixel art for a CRT monitor, except for the UI up here. And it's pretty close to where the actual camera's supposed to be. It's a little bit closer, but like all we had to do was zoom in a little bit to get there. So, you know, maybe off camera, if there's a character talking or something, you might get an issue here. But it's like, and then like here, for example, this is 1.8. So instead, if we went 2.4, and that's a big jump. Hang on a sec. $480, $240, right? That would be the next one. Why is it not 2.4? Oh, it's not affecting the ortho size. There we go. Yeah, it's hard because you'd be stuck at 1.2 here, basically. You wouldn't be able to zoom in slightly on the room here. You'd have to just accept that we only could move across. So then the question is, what would be the process by which I would determine which zoom setting to hit, if at all? I think what I could do, we might be able to try something here algorithmically. We might be able to check, like resolve from the standard numbers that I've got, 1.35, 1.8, 2.7. We might be able to pick nearby whole number resolutions for the screen that you have and zoom to that instead. Again, if you're not 16:9, you're going to get stuff cut off, but like maybe that's okay. Like 720p, that same resolution now looks pretty good because I shifted it a little. This whole scene now looks great in 720. And I would say this is acceptable. I mean, this looks perfect. For a Switch, I would have it like this. So let's see if we can figure that out. I'm going to take a quick break and we'll come back and try to negotiate here. We are doing a lot of like, it's basically going to end up like this. It's like step 1. No, it's more like anyway, I'll be back in a sec. All right. So the nearest whole pixel number to scale to, that's what we're looking for. The nearest whole pixel number, in order to do that, we'll need to well, we'll actually need to change this code is correct, right? This is just going to say, hey, like, let's make the bounds of the letterbox correct. But we're asking for the zone camera to auto rescale itself to a nearer whole pixel scale. Now, we can do that with the zone camera, or we can do it further up the pipeline to the main camera. The main camera does this when it passes on the operator. So this has an ortho size, and it's always going to try to get to this specific ortho size. So we could probably do something where we, assuming this is the only time we use this target, we could just set a different target that's like more appropriate for the screen resolution. So we're kind of like overriding what's happening, which I wouldn't want to do. Instead, we wouldn't want to have to do this, but just for testing, we can do it. So target ortho size equals now I don't know what the nearest is going to be. I mean, we either want it to be like 1, 2, 3. How would we do this? You kind of want to round to nearest, and rounding is going to force us to get to a number that's like an integer as a scale. So it's not ortho size divided by 2. It's ortho size over video settings dot native dot height. So like 640 by 360 divided by 1.8 divided by 100 divided by 2, I think is what it is. Like 360 divided by 100 is 3.6, divided by 2 is 1.8. Over the target ortho size, which is going to be something like 1.8. So this, if our camera is 1.8, this is going to be 1, because that's 1.8 by default. If the camera size, if the ortho size is 2.7, is that double 1.8? No, 3.6 would be double that. So then that will be the number 2. So this needs to be the other way around. It's this over that. So again, if the ortho size is 0.9, then 0.9 out of... No, we want it the other way, I think. We want it to be like 1, 2, 4 as our integers. So this is like so the number should go up the smaller the camera size. So 0.8, it is res scale divided by, I think, 0.9 over 1.8 is going to be 2. That would be a camera target pixel scale of 2. Let's see if that's going to get us the right answer. So 1.3, 1.3, 1.3, 2 in this case. So that's correct. We now have an integer scale. And 1.3 is not a good number. If we made it 1.0, so 720 divided by 2, 1280 by 720, 3.6? No, 5.4. Would get us a better value here. So 1.35 is no good. It would be 2.35. No, 5.4, 2.5, 2.75, 2.75? 2.7 would be the number. Divide that by 2. Gives us... No, 0.6. Multiply that by 3 on 2. Nope. What am I doing here? 720. 5.4. Why is this off? Oh, because I'm using native. Well, if it was, yeah, if it's 1.8, that's 1. If it's 0.9, that's going to give us 2. So that's the default res scale. And this is the, I would call it like, okay. So now we want the number which represents what this would be if this, instead of native, it was video settings.screenres.height. So here is 2 and here is 4, so it works. If this is 1.35, it's not great for anybody, somehow. Why is 1.3 wrong? It shouldn't be. That's a good number. 1.8. .4. I mean, sorry, no, 1.35 should give us a whole number on the I must be calculating whatever this is wrong. Well, let's first go screen res scale. 3.6. Right, because it's 720? No. It should be 5.4 if that's the case. So what's screen res going to give us? Didn't this actually... Didn't we already get past that? 720 is the camera size. Why is 720 divided by 100 divided by 2? It is 3.6. I thought it was. Why have I been thinking 5.4? Why have I been 960? Oh, 960 by 540 is 1080 divided by 2. Yeah, that's got nothing to do with 720p. Yeah. Wait, so what's like 720p? Oh. Right. So 1.35 is just not a good resolution for that. Okay. So like... What am I looking for then? I mean, it's 7.2, it's 3, it goes to 3.6, goes to 1.8, 0.9. That's it. Could you do 2.7? $270? No. Yeah. Yeah, there's no... What about like 720 divided by 3? 240. That's the value we're looking for. I knew there was one around there somewhere. But that doesn't look right. Why does it say 3.6 here? 2.4. Because it's got to be half that? 1.2? I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, that's 720. Yeah, divided by 3. That's correct. I had to full screen it to get the proper 720p. So 1.2 is your nearest one. Okay. In any case, we should be able to then go back to this. And if we have 1.2 plugged in, this should give us the number of 3. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So we know that our numbers now at 720p at 0.9, 1.2, 1.8, 3.6. That's 4 scales that we could zoom to if we really wanted to. 0.9 works. 1.8 works. Lots of options. 3.6 if you really want to get crazy with it. That's 720. That's 1x for 720. Every pixel is a pixel. There's nothing really between 1.8 and 3.6, unfortunately. Whereas in 1080p, you can go 2.7. That's your stopgap that we can't get. So actually, in 720p, that's really unfortunate that there's nothing we can do between there. I use 2.7 a lot when I want to zoom out and show you like a fair bit of the game. We had a shot earlier where we were looking, it's like this one here, where 2.7 is great. And I don't think 720p is ever going to give us a value that's nice for that scale. Like there's just nothing close that we'll be able to use at 720p. That's like this kind of zoom level. That's really unfortunate. Like there's just nothing I can do about it. Because 2.7 is going to give you a yucky number. This is the pixel size, right? 1.8 gives us that, which doesn't super give us enough screen. And there's nothing on the way out that's going to be a whole multiple. Oh, yeah, that was 1.2, 1.1, almost there. And that's going to end up at 3.6 where it's a whole. That's 720p at the next stopgap. The Switch, like the Steam Deck, I think is 720p. Didn't we just find out? No, 1280 by 800. So 800, you're going to get some numbers, some good numbers. That's going to be a great one because you got tons of numbers to play with there. With the Steam Deck, you could just literally say 2. That's decent. Then you could say, did you say 3? No, you got to go back to 4. I mean, that's, yeah, I mean, it's still not great. You'd still want something further out than... That's actually pretty good. That's I wouldn't complain about that. It's no 1.8, but it's good. This scale, you see most of what you need to see. So let's get the actual trigger. Let's get the actual thing. Clinkers, pamplemousse, pamplemousse. Green. All right. Vert. Pink. Sorry. Verde. Non, vert. Okie doke. Merde. Yeah. All right. So now we're almost there. We know what the default scale is. In this case, here the number we get is 0.6. That's not right. This is 2.7 on a... What? It's not 0.6. That's not right. What is this? Oh, but that's not, okay. Sure. I'm thinking like 1080p, not 640 by 360. So default pixel scale is, like times 3, I guess. Now it's 2. All right. So now we say, all right, so we're playing the Steam Deck now. And it's like, hey, the default would put us at 2. Do I know some French? Oui, je parle un peu du français, mais c'est très pauvre. Parce que je n'ai pas rien. Personne avec qui je peux parler. Je peux le parler. Je parlante. I can't speak it. C'est juste impossible de improver, améliorer. How do you say like to improve? Impossible. D'améliorer. To get better. Tout seul. Améliorer. Ouais. C'est ça. So, yeah, like this number here, 2, we're at 2, and the next number is 1.4. So could we go like, can we pop this up to the next whole number? In which case, if it's 800, then the number is 2. But we were at 1.4. So it ended up being like 4. That's going to zoom us way out, which is no good. Because the number that we had was 2.7. And that put the 1080p améliorer. Non, améliorer. Wow. Merci. Yeah, in English it's ameliorate. So I should have known that. Mais c'est trop difficile d'apprendre comme ça. The other one is like reason and raisin. I get wrong when I try to say them, like raison. Raison? I don't know how you would say it. Like pour cette raison? Would you even say that? I don't know. How can you detect which kind of gamepad is connected to show the UI? I'm still struggling with that, to be honest. Anyway. I think I would learn very quickly if I was in France for like 2 months, but because I have all the foundations, I just don't know how to speak it anymore. Like I never really knew how to speak it. I just knew how to translate it. Like English words into French equivalents and basically what the structure is like, but it's all broken now. Okay, so yeah, here's my problem, right? 1080p At 1080p, 2.7 scale gives us 2. Yeah? At the number that corresponds to, the closest thing to 2 for this would be a size of 4, which is, no, not a size of, well, for 1280 by 800. No, a size of 2 would be right. Oh, that's pretty good then. That's actually what I would want to do. Okay, all right, well. So we need to basically take this number and then reverse engineer it. So if the number is 2 at 1080p or whatever, we need to find what the 2 of the other one is. So inverse scale. And the inverse scale would be something like, I think you just flip it, right? So you literally just say target ortho size equals default pixel scale over screen res scale? Is that it? Or screen pixel scale over default pixel scale? No, it's screen res scale. No, because I got to find the nearest. Quinn? I never know how to pronounce that name. Bit unrelated, but how can you detect... Oh, no, you already asked that question and I already answered it poorly. Sorry. So I'm not just trying to take... I need to round it to int, I think. That number. Once I flip it. And then set the target to that. Is that what I was doing? I was close. Hang on. Like here, we're at... If we go back to 1920 by 1080... Sorry, I got to focus here. That's 2, yeah? If I go to 720... The number we get is 1.3, which is not a great number at this scale, but 2.7 might be close to the number that we would want to use. So our number there would be 2.4 to get the closest thing. No, not 2.4. 1.8, 3.6. Oh, there isn't a nice number. Oh, so it would be 1.8 then for 720p or 3.6, which is really far out. Yeah, 720p just is not nice. There's just no nice number. Steam Deck was okay because you get 2 as a number, and that's like that's legit. Why doesn't that look good? I guess because it's not 2? Well, no, it is. It's 2. Well, it should be a correct number, but maybe I just didn't. I don't know why that's wrong. Oh, because we're not setting it to that number. Wait, we are setting it to that number. Why does it not look good? What scale would it need to be to look good at 800p? Even though it says that it is the right number. Oh, now I'm really confused. It's back to 2.7. But that's not... That can't be right. What are we looking at? Why is this correct? That can't be right. What? Is it like doing something? Is it lying to me? Am I looking at something wrong? Default pixel scale, screen pixel scale. Well, if my screen is 1280 by 800, why is this perfect at 2.7? 800 doesn't divide into 2.7. Am I already doing the... Oh, because I'm doing the conversion. I'm literally doing it now. Okay, well, that means it works. Okay, so, all right. So if I go to 720... Wait, what? Oh, right. So I must be... Let's find out what the actual scale we got is. Oh, shit. I did something right. I actually am using the code that I'm proposing. So yeah, we get 1.8 at 720p. So we could just play the game like this and see what we get. Yeah, that's hard. That's really close up. This is a straight conversion, which I don't think is right. I don't think we should do this. Maybe we need to do like a... It's too close like this. It's perfect. The pixels are perfect, but it's way too close to the camera. So at 720p, we would need to pull out to 1.8. Basically all the time. So what? Now my question is, this is this over this. So it's... Hang on a second. So the camera size that we would have picked would have been 3.6? That can't be right. Oh, okay. It's not that. It's... Well, that's what we did to get the target scale. But... would have scaled to... default pixel scale. Man, this is, I'm not good. I would be able to do this much faster if I wasn't streaming right now. Would have scaled to 2. Wait, we're doing the same thing twice here. I mean, that looks good. That's too close. Yeah. Well, here I'm just doing it like that. But if I do it before that, then I get what we would have gotten. Yeah. So here, like, here we're at 1.3x. We would have ended at 2. 1.3 is way too close. Well, what is 2 now? I'm confused. We didn't end up at 1.3. We ended up at like some other number. Oh, I see. The number that we had, what if I take this and cast it to int first? No. Yeah, because I'm zooming in and out. Yeah. Oh, my head hurts. So if I do that, that tells me what it is. So what I need to do is round this number to int. And then instead say screen res scale over default pixel scale. Yeah, that's actually what it is. If I want to maximize gameplay playability, I have to do that, which is kind of an awkward compromise. Which is closer to the unrounded value. Yeah. Now I understand what I'm doing. So here we're at like 2.8, which is, I mean, what are we? 2.7? No, 1.8. 1.8 is fine. It's the same in 720 and 1080. This is like an actual exact screen that we'd be looking at in both resolutions. It's just a smaller screen, which is good. This is 720p. So the switch, playing on this screen in most of the level is exactly as you'd see it in 1080p, docked or not, same difference. But when we walk over to this space, because I'm trying to show you what's below you, in order to do that and still get you a good screen pixel scale, I have to go way further out for the pixels to become whole pixels. For me, pulling out all this way feels a little much, but at least it works. And if I talk to Berta, like this probably, I mean, it doesn't go in because we would have gone to 3, but we ended up at 2. Oh yeah, here we go. And then here we went, instead of 4, we went to 3. So that's good too, that works to me. Like the adjustments that it's making now are satisfying the criteria of being whole pixel numbers and going in and out as close as it can to get to those. The only problem is that they're not, it's, some places it won't zoom in at all. Or like this, we got not that tight here. We would have scaled to 6 here, we ended up 4. So here on 1080p, we actually get a little bit closer. The camera gets a little closer. Here it's 4 and we ended at 3. So again, we would have been a little closer visually, but to stop at a whole pixel number, we had to get a little bit further out. As long as we get like really, and then here, like it's unfortunate, we would have scaled to 4, we ended at 3. We can't get closer than this without getting uber close. That's the problem. If I go back to this zone, and I zoom in, see how there are like stops? Now, maybe I should have gone to like this one. Well, no, those aren't real stops, are they? They're not whole pixel stops, I don't think. Wait, what? Wait, why does it look so good? Wait, what? Wait a second. Wait a second. That doesn't make any sense. Wait, why do you look so good? No, this is impossible. Huh? Wait, what? Why are there so many options here? Oh, because once you start going up, you get these diminishing returns that actually do work. Hang on. No, I know what it is. I know what it is. It's like this, right? I can draw this. I can explain it with a drawing. All right. So like when you have like a pixel, an art pixel, and you want to zoom out, you want to show more of these pixels on screen, you can either show one of them or you can split it into two, right? So that you get 2 art pixels per, well, 2 screen pixels per art pixel. But once you start subdividing it at a certain point, it just gets easier and easier to subdivide. So you get nicer, more comfortable resolutions more frequently as you subdivide. But you're not subdividing, you're actually multiplying. So when you want the camera to get in closer, you can give 3 pixels, 4 pixels, 5 pixels, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The difference between 10 and 11 art pixels for one screen pixels per art pixel is not that high. So the gaps here are going to actually get really, as we get really close, you can arbitrarily scale. It looks perfect the whole time because you're looking at like 30, what is this? 22 art pixels, 22 screen pixels per art pixel, 21 screen pixels, 14, 12, 11, 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Notice that we're getting further away every jump. 2, 1, there. So from 1 to 2 is 50, you double, the amount of content you see on screen. But as you get closer in, you're not doubling anymore. You're getting margins. So we could have zoomed in. I mean, like, rounding is not the right approach, I think, to a whole number. Or am I just not understanding what I need to be doing here? So like, the target scale is 2.7. No, the target would have scaled to 4. Instead, we ended up at 3. It's still pretty close. I mean, it still looks good. Yeah, we zoomed in a little bit here. So we ended up at 4 instead of 6. Yeah. Yeah, this would be like tessellator's thing. I don't know how to implement that. I should probably look it up if I'm doing this job. So let's go all the way to native, 10, like 480. I mean, that's not bad. You're only ending up at 2, 1. If we leave the scene, let's go back to an outside scene. I think this could be good because it might just stay at a certain, yeah, it's just going to stay way out at 1x the whole time. Doesn't matter what you do in the game, it's just going to stay at 1x. Oh, here we got to 2. So just for the dialogue with the merchant. But then the rest of the game is just going to be at 1x because there's nothing else you can really do with it. I mean, if you're going to play on like a Super Nintendo, like if you're going to play on a CRT monitor, nothing wrong with playing it like this. I guess I'd like it to get closer, but you just don't have the pixels. It's kind of cool. And then 360. This is the original art resolution. Yeah, you don't get as much content on screen, but hey, I mean, it's playable. Very jittery, isn't it? And then at like home, what does that look like? I guess you just stay pretty... Oh, okay, it goes pretty far out. Does it go in? Oh, it does go in for this. That's pretty cool. I mean, you're still getting decent coverage. You're getting like different angles and stuff. Hello. Yep. What about in or instead? It'd be nice to get closer here, but you literally can't on this resolution. Unless you're talking to an NPC, I'm guessing. Oof, even there, you're not getting close. Would have scaled to 4, but we ended up at 1 because you just didn't get quite close enough. Same thing with like any of these scenes. Damn it, that dog should probably show up there. Please? Even here, we don't get close enough. Yeah, but still actual resolution. So coming back to 720p, I mean, running around in the game in 720p is reasonable. I mean, we're going to get closer here for sure. The only thing is, I'm doing a hard conversion. There's an issue here with the way that I've done this that is still going to miss opportunities. Like right now, what we're doing is taking, in this case, like 2.7 as a size and saying, hey, this is what we want the camera size to be. It's 2.7. But like there might have been a size that we could have set the camera at that was a little bit better for 720p. That leads to a whole number which is better than this. Like if we went just a little bit further out with this particular zone camera, like short of me hard coding differences, if I went to this zone camera and pulled it out to 2.4 or even in a bit further, nah, you're really gonna get a couple. I think 2.7 is not bad. I'm just saying, like calling it 2.7 versus 2.2, you know, or 2.4 versus 2.3, like it's such a huge difference. In 1080p it wouldn't be. Would have scaled to 2, ended at 1, which is closer to 1.3, like that, for example. 720p pulls all the way out just to show us the pulley lever. Whereas like just on the other side of 720p, you end up at if you happened to just have a couple hundred extra pixels at 1280 by 800, and then you change the camera just a little bit closer, then you get something that's actually, I would have been okay with that. At 1280 by 800, this is a decent resolution to zoom out, a decent scale to zoom out at. I would have been okay, but not at 720 because we don't see the floor. So hey Zara, I think you should check out the rest of the game. There are more skills. There's lots of skills. This is just the start of the game. But it won't get boring. Don't worry. I'll make sure. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I could just go ahead with this logic for now. Just let it be. Well, that's the thing. I'd have to set. The thing that's hard is with this, I would have to have like profiles. I'd have to have like a Steam Deck profile and like a Nintendo Switch profile where like every camera in the game, I had to think about like, oh, is this enough? Because like, yeah, like this being a 2.7 camera, it's so close to being at a 2.65 camera. 800p snaps right to something quite comfortable, but in 720p it's not. In 720p I would have to pull way out, because if you get a little bit closer again, now you don't even see the bottom of this. So I could give you an option to force pixel perfect. But yeah, with the 2.7 camera, like we got to go all the way out. You got to be out here. Which is really far out. If you're playing on like a little Steam Deck, oh no, a Nintendo Switch, to get out this far is like, whoa. And I can't really afford to not go out a little bit, because the next spot in from here is going to be too, well, that's actually, I mean, that's fine. In this specific case, that this is not a big problem. I wouldn't worry about that. But anywhere else where we definitely go 2.7, which would be, where else do we go 2.7? Oh, like, where are the 2.7 zones? I mean, on top of the town would be one. Here, I think there's a 2.7. Yeah, first one. Right. Oh, even down here. Okay. Yeah, this one ends up going all the way out there, which otherwise ends up being this. I mean, that's not so bad. I need to check if there are any places where we absolutely need it to be 2.7. Like this one is 2.7. And the reason why it's 2.7 is that if it's any closer, it's hard to kind of appreciate that there's a door there. You see that? You change this to 2.7, you can see a door. If it's at 1080p, it becomes at 2.7. As we run up, you can see the door. There's light shafts there as well. So like, it's actually it's kind of, you know, a little game breaking to see that, to be standing here and see that, you go, oh, like I got to get there. If I pull in another, you know, this much, you don't see the door ever. Hey, short. It's all based on height, actually. It's all vertically. Like if you have a wider screen, you'll see more. The hardest part is this part. The hardest part is design, I think. Designing something original. Yeah, and once you have even more pixels, it's fine. Like bigger screens, no problem. 800 by 480. Oh, but the texture filtering's killing us there. This would be my 800 by 480. What's that? Is that? I don't even know what that is. I think that's technically the 3DS. Although the 3DS uses it's double, I think, or something like that. 720. I mean, again, Steam Deck. You get something playable. And this is better than black bars, right? It's only when we go free aspect that you get the black bars, because you've got to, like, look at it now. Look at how well it's performing now in terms of showing content. I think that's kind of like all I could have hoped for. And the only issue is when we pick up items and stuff, it gets weird. All right, I gotta run, pals. Thanks for checking out the stream today. I had a lot of fun. Hope you did too. Oh, that's a bit weird. Oh, there's probably another sprite mask. Bunch of sprite masks. That's better. All right. Well, thanks, pals, for all of your help with the pitch deck. Thank you for your support. This was relatively straightforward, this little fix. I should do a check there of like snap to nearest integer or something like that. Force pixel scale or something. Yeah, it's okay. All right. Yeah, thanks everyone. If you like my content, no raids today. If you like my content, check out my Patreon page or my YouTube channel. We might get a YouTube vid tonight. I'll see how I go. I'll try. Thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, maybe not tomorrow. I might be busy. Okay. Maybe Thursday. So that's it. As always, I've been Adam. You've been the Pixel Pals. This has been the IndieTales Game Dev live stream. Until next time.